And I'm having the time of my life. You gotta pay me to care. Yeah, look. And
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have missed you, all 43 of my subscribers and new viewers. I missed y'all. Today I'm going to be going over one of my go-to tools to look for flights, Skyscanner.com. They also have an app, so there's that. I love Skyscanner. I'm going to show you some different tips that you might not know. Skyscanner is kind of an equivalent to a Google Flights or an Expedia or anything like that. But I like it because there's some different tips and tricks that you could do on there. So I'm going to show you guys that. I would definitely be mindful if you do find any cheap flights right now. You obviously don't have to travel right now, but you might find a cheap price to buy now for a flight in 2021 or later on in the year, or just whenever you feel comfortable again to travel. Personally, me and my group of friends, we were able to find flights to Tokyo in April next year for $496, and we just purchased our flights about, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago. So there are definitely some really great deals out there to take advantage of, even if you're not going right away. COVID is still definitely impacting the travel industry and the prices and the things and the deals that you see for flights right now. So with further ado, let's head straight to the laptop and let's just go through this and get you guys all squared away so now you can use Skyscanner on your own. All right, guys, so I am on the computer, and as you can see, I'm just on skyscanner.com, and it already has filtered in Tampa. Just be sure when you start on Skyscanner that you do, if you're using Google Chrome, you just click the three dots and you do incognito window. You should definitely always be searching for flights, rental cars, hotels in incognito window. Always. Again, it doesn't save your data. It's not tracking your cookies or anything like that. So basically what that means is when you go to book, or when you go to like look for flights, and 1 week you look and the prices still show like $200, and you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna wait a little bit and see like if the price go down a little bit or whatever, because I'm not in a rush. Well, then you go like a week later and the prices have skyrocketed to $500. It's because they're tracking your cookies and your data to see that like you're searching for these flights a lot. So the airlines are the OGs when it comes to dynamic pricing, and that's what it's called. It's called dynamic pricing, and their algorithms basically see that, oh, there is a demand. This person is wanting this flight, and they're going to make you think that the prices go up to encourage you to hurry up and buy, when really the price may have gone up, but it didn't just jump up $300 out of nowhere. So that's just something to keep in mind, to always look and always be using incognito window. And again, if you're using Google Chrome, you just click on the three dots and you just click here, and a new incognito window will pass up. So you should always be looking hotels, rental cars, flights particularly. You should always be looking at those in incognito window. The second tip is that Tuesdays are #travel Tuesdays, but that is usually when airlines, don't know why, but that's normally when you can find the cheapest price. So if you are kind of looking for some specific dates, or you know exactly the flight that you need to buy from this location to this location for these specific time frames, like Tuesdays is normally the best day to buy, just because they're generally cheaper on Tuesdays. But let's get back to Skyscanner to help you even amplify those tips even more. Skyscanner is going to be the tool that we're talking about today. So I'm doing just a random round trip, and I'm being extra adventurous, and I'm gonna click can't decide where to go. So basically, if you are like me and you just want to go on a trip and you're not even sure where you want to go, but you just want to go on a trip, then you just click can't decide where to go, and it will literally just search everywhere. Okay, so then for departing, usually when you pull it up, it shows like a specific date, right? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to click on whole month and then cheapest month. And it will automatically do that for the depart and the return. So this is basically now going to pull up results that are me leaving Tampa, going anywhere and everywhere for the cheapest month to leave and the cheapest month to return. So I'm going to get a bunch of different options here that we can take a look at. But just as you can see, it's going to start by the cheapest price and work its way to the most expensive. So as you can see, Caraco, Guatemala, Jamaica, Bahamas, like there's a little bit of everything in here. It is broken down by countries. So when you actually click on the arrow here, it will actually break it down by cities for you. So don't be confused when you first see it and you don't see anything. Like, you have to actually click on the arrow for that specific country and it'll show you the cities that you can do this for. So just some random ones for the US. I could go to Nashville for $51, Dallas for $53, DC for $58, LA for $71, Orlando for $72, like just a bunch of random places basically. So I am going to see here. So Costa Rica is another one. So they have San Jose, they have Liberia, they have Tamarindo, and they're just showing you the various different prices. So when you see the from, that's basically the lowest price flight out of the flights inside of the actual country. So let's see. So let's go back to the US, since right now a lot of countries are not letting Americans in. And we don't know when that is gonna let up, unfortunately. So let's just play with, okay, I'm just gonna play with Seattle. So basically what you would do is you just scroll down till you find one that you like, and you would just click on the arrow, a new tab would pop up, and they're basically showing you in more detail the specific dates that you could find these a deal for. So just keep in mind that green is for cheap, this yellow orange is moderate, and the red is expensive. So in July, obviously we're not trying to travel in July, but you could keep going, and obviously you could see that it keeps the months and the dates with the prices colored are still popping up as you continue to go. So let's see. So I could go in September. I could go a 13th through the 19th. Oh, sorry. Hold on, guys. I could go the 13th through the 19th. And you just click on that. I'm just randomly selecting dates here, and you just click show flights. And basically it's just pulling its prices based off of, in this case, 24 plus different providers. So it could be everything from the actual airline's website, it could be from Expedia, like any of the websites that basically are kind of showing flights and showing you how to find cheap flights. Like it's pulling its information from there. Okay, so I know I briefly touched on this in my last video, to buy or not to buy, which you should definitely check that out. Even though some of the information is a little outdated now, that there are some airlines that have extended their flexibility booking policies. So basically, the best flight is it's the best combination of price and speed. The cheapest is obviously the cheapest, and the fastest is clear as day, obviously the fastest. So you could go from Tampa to Seattle for as cheap as 138 or as expensive as 297 for these dates. But just something that I wanted to point out here is that Seattle any, okay? So it's basically going to pull any airport in Seattle. And the reason why this is important is because sometimes the airport that you want to fly into is more expensive than you flying to another airport in that city that might just be like 20 more minutes out of the way. So a good perfect example of this is Houston. So Houston Hobby is the airport that I usually like to fly into. And Houston, I'm just going to select the same dates. But yeah, so Houston Hobby is normally the airport that I like to fly into. Okay. It's what's closest to my family in terms of if I need someone to pick me up from the airport or whatever the case may be. So nonetheless, all right, so it's showing me right here, 216. As you can see, the cheapest is 213, but the time on that is like 7 hours, which I would never do. So I could do 216 with with one stop. So all right, so 216. Now I'm gonna go. That's for Houston Hobby. Now I'm gonna go to Houston and I'm gonna put IAH, which is another airport. They're probably about, depending on traffic, maybe 30 minutes apart, 40 minutes apart. And you can just see this hasn't even finished loading, and you guys can see the difference in price already. Okay, this is another tip. So don't be so fixated on the one airport that you're used to going to or that you know about. Sometimes there is another airport that can be cheaper for you. It might be less time for you. So if you're not sure, you can always just type in the location and then just let any pop up. But as you can see, clear as day, I can go for as cheap as $72. Okay, this is a basic, guys. Basic, like just doing your research, not being stuck in this mindset of like, oh, I can only go in this one airport and I can only go out this one airport. This is a nonstop flight compared to the other one was gonna have me have a stop in Atlanta, and I can go for as cheap as $72. Yes, it's Spirit, so yes, I'd end up paying for luggage, but even if I pay for luggage, I'd still come out cheaper than the 216. Now, I don't really care for Spirit too much, so even if I kept going till I saw another one, I could go United nonstop for 207. Granted, it's not much of a dollar difference in terms of the 216 and the 207, but either way it goes, like, this airport's cheaper and it's nonstop. So would I rather pay 216 and have to stop in Atlanta, or would I rather pay 207 and not have to stop anywhere, have a straight flight, right? So that's just another tip as well. And you can use that tip on any travel or like flight website. Okay, so if you're never sure which airport, or you just want to look at any options to get you there, you could just type in the so like another one that I could do, which would be really bad one, but if you wanted to, but just so you know, like, there are two airports in Orlando. There's the one everyone knows about, and then there's a smaller airport in Sanford, probably about I'd say maybe like 30-40 minutes as well away from the main airport in Orlando. Okay, so same thing with Tampa. There is the main airport that everyone knows in Tampa. There's one in St. Pete and Clearwater. There are airports multiple airports normally in a city. That's major like these, and so you can always find or see if there's another option to get you there, and it might save you some dollars. It is basically pulling flight information or hotel or car rental information from anywhere, so you can use it in addition to those. There is nothing that you don't have to pay for or anything like that. So you can obviously create an account, and then you can set up price alerts. So price alerts, basically it will just notify you when if you have specific dates and locations set in place, it will basically notify you when the price fluctuates and as it gets cheaper, and it'll give you recommendations on we think you should buy or different things like that. Skyscanner also has an app if you're interested on just having something easy and convenient. But this is pretty much how I use Skyscanner. Again, I didn't even go into full depth of all the various cities that I could have traveled to. I just looked at one. But as you can see, just simply putting everywhere and going to month and making it the cheapest month, you'll find flights for any location you want. The cheapest prices will be there at your fingertips, and you can kind of maneuver and figure out a date that works best for you based off the prices versus picking a date and then being stuck whatever those prices may be. So that is my tips and tricks for today. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, tell me what other resources you'd like to know about or me give a review on. Are there any tips and tricks that you've been trying to figure out, whether it has to do with hotels or rental cars? Right now I've been focusing on flights because usually where I'm traveling I don't need a rental car or anything. So, but just let me know what you guys are interested in, and as always, be nothing less but bold and authentic to you.
You think you live the pura vida.